Okay, so after taking a quick peek of how some of the abilities work and their modifiers and all that fun stuff, I have seen pretty much what I have a general idea where I want to go with this character. Basically, we're going spear assist and delayed cross charge, like I pretty much figured I was going to go anyways. Outside of that, these are decent. I don't think these versions are quite as useful. The party's HP could be potentially, this one could be potentially useful for backliners, but outside of that, not really. Maybe that. Alright, user's HP. Okay, and these could be decent. Long thrust is cheap right now, so that's a good one to invest in. Apparently this one has low, I think it starts at 30%. And I get another character that's going to have a head pierce that has a head bind that has a higher chance anyways. So these ones are much better. Outside of that, bloody offense is a nice attack boost. And based on what I saw, everything else is pretty much garbage, and I should probably just ignore that they exist. Except maybe this one, which I can put points into once I'm good to go. Anyways, let's see. So, in the meantime, because of that, I'm going to put points into I'm going to learn bloody offense. Oh, I don't get 1 point. Curse you. Okay, well, whatever. I'll deal with that for now. And I did take a look at some of the damage algorithms, and yeah, based on what I saw, defense reduces damage against a number of things, like everything, but it has such a very tiny role in doing so that Vitality plays a far more bigger role in reducing damage against melee attacks than anything else. And just the same, Vitality works against Vitality and Defense are used in tech-based damage as well, but it has such a low effect on it that they can practically just ignore it and just say Tech is your defense stat for tech attacks, Vitality is your defense stat against physical attacks, and your defense stat is just kind of there. Based on what I saw anyways. You must be Kurtai. I was told to take you to investigate the new ruin. Some distance away. Once we depart, it won't be easy to return to town, so be sure you're ready first. I estimate it'll be about a day's carriage ride from here. If you're ready, we can depart now. Yee. Very well, then let's away. Alright, the Gladsheim. At the carriage ride's end, you step into a newly discovered ruin with the soldier. So all supposedly built of advanced technology are cold, driving home the ruin's deep mystery. This is the unknown ruin we found. The reports of monsters within made it too dangerous to explore. Urara told us they'd send one skilled in battle. That's you. And that we were to leave it to him to it. First order of business will be to proceed to the depths of this floor and investigate what you can. We've no idea how large the place is, but we'll pray that you succeed on your mission. We'll be waiting for you here. Come back if you need rest. Soldier who has guided you here hands you a small bag as you're about to depart on your investigation. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm by myself, so the nectar doesn't really help, but that's cool anyways. After accepting the kit from the soldier, you walk to the unknown ruin. Okay, so I know that this is like considered to be like one of the things that people... Okay, this would be the exit. Oh, what did I actually use for it? I guess I could use stairs. So yeah, this is one of the things that I know people do not like about this game, this one. The Gladsheim. Because, you know, the whole advanced technology thing that we're seeing, like, less than an hour into the game. Because, you know, the fifth Stratum was kind of a plot twist in the game, that this game was post-apocalyptic. And we were already spoiled on that, like, right off the bat. It gets a little worse. Trust me. Okay. Oh. When we meet another character soon. Also, this is the dungeon that was added in this version of the game. And also, only the story party gets to go here. Again, unless you use, like, a ROM hack or whatever that actually changes that. Which I know there's some, because a lot of people don't really give a shit about the story party. Doesn't seem to be anything in here. I'd rather not wander around too much because I am by myself. As you pass through the bizarrely shaped door of the ruin, you can hear a strange sound and stop at a caution. You remain unmoving for a while, and the bizarre sound stops as well. The area is blanketed in silence once more. Nevertheless, you have a mission to venture further within and find the information the Rothead desires. You must staunch your fear and continue deeper into the ruin. Thankfully, it's just rat. Okay. Maybe auto battle was not. I realized maybe auto battle was not such a good idea. I should have just used a long spear or something. Yeah, I'd rather not explore these halls too much without a party, for obvious reasons. Oh, there. Okay. I was about to say. I saw a hole. Appears to be impassable. Gotcha. Dude. Just keeping track. As you pass through a number of doors, you see nothing save for more walls. You have yet to discover anything that the Rada might consider useful. Still, it might be worth checking this room a bit more to ensure that there's nothing here. There's the hole that I was looking for. Oh. Well, there we go. Oops. That's probably a bit too... No, okay, no, that's not too far. There's a mysterious box before you, emitting a strange light. As you approach the box, it produces a new blue panel of light. Startled, you reach it for your weapon, but there's no other change. Your curiosity is stoked by the mysterious light. You consider touching it. Deciding to touch it, you let out an anxious breath before reaching toward the panel of light. Upon doing so, you hear an unfamiliar sound. There seems to be no notable changes in your surroundings. It may be something else has changed elsewhere on the floor. Try to think of what that might be, so you can go and see if a change has indeed occurred. Ah.
panther!
An explorer?
Huh? It's back!
So, they've managed to get inside.
Who are you?
We'll talk later! Here it comes! It's a monster.
Sorry to drag you into this, but we could use a hand.
I noticed that the cutscene was considerably quieter than I was expecting. Okay, anyways, yeah. Try long piercing.
Stay behind my shield, everyone. I'll protect you.
Right. Yep, protectors have high defense and are experts at guarding skills. Use front guard to guard the front line and provoke to draw their attacks.
Just let me know if you need any healing.
Yep, there's our medic. You're going to allies who are frequently attack and support them. He also has a melee attack because, I mean, combat medics were a thing. Not usually, but sure. I guess put it on
I'll burn them down with my formulas.
Okay, he's the alchemist. They're effective at elemental attacks. Make good use of his fire skill. Gunner class, which it uses firearms to attack from the rear line. So yes, we got an Etrian Odyssey 2 class in this game. So yes, Highlander and Gunner are the unique classes that you can only play in story mode until you complete the story mode and can go on New Game Plus in Classic. As sad as that is. All attacks and skills to bind the enemy's head, arms, legs, and limit their options. Head snipe, which binds the head, is effective against the enemy you now face. Wow, it's like the game's just telling me that. Okay.
I'll protect you all.
I'll give the orders.
Oh, well, it's head sealed. Nice. Can provoke, I guess. Attack. Spam fire. I guess bind its arm so that it lowers its attack.
Come in.
Here's some of my hits.
Ow. Oh, it's headbound. We're off already. Jeez, that was fast. Oh, I'm not used to binds only lasting one turn. Jeez.
Here's some of my hits.
Errant Camel. As the monster breathes its last, it collapses to the ground with an earth-shaking thud. Now that the battle's over, you look toward the unfamiliar faces whom you fought alongside. Tree chased by the monsters are cleaning their weapons and inspecting the monster's corpse in the aftermath. The young man in the white coat seems to be directing their efforts. As for the other, the girl who has been asleep within the bizarre device now stands with a perplexed expression. Yeah, we got cryogenically frozen character. As if to really sell in the fact that, yes, this is a post-apocalyptic story. You want answers, but you're unsure of whether to seek them from the strange girl or the trio of intruders. Up to the trio. Recalling that the Rada has selected you alone to explore this ruin, you wonder what these three could be. Just as you're about to express your doubts to the young man in white coat, he notices you and speaks up.
Again, sorry to drag you into that fight, but it was thanks to you that we made it through alive.
The young man smiles affably. This may be a good time to raise questions that his presence implies. The young man seems to have anticipated your question and has already answered.
Yeah.
We're an investigation team from the Midgard Library. We heard about strange happenings here and came to see. And that monster? That I don't know. It looked like a subspecies of a camel that's native to the tropical climates. Still, its savagery was surprising. If there are more beasts like that in this ruin, this could be very dangerous.
What is that?
By the way, is she with you? Is it alright to leave her? You look again to the girl who's been asleep in the bizarre device. You need to question her as well. You ask the girl who seems dazed and now in contrast to her prior bravery, who she is.
I'm Frederica.
The girl answers you quietly and then looks up to your face. She then closes her eyes with her brow furrowed in thought. After clenching her fists as if her are trying to remember something, she opens her eyes and continues. I feel like I know you. I was with you before when... The girl trails off again and clutches her temples as if pained. Sensing further conversation with the girl will be difficult, you step away from the girl Frederica. The girl claims to know you, and the trio from the Midgard Library is apparently here to investigate. The trio is looking around and conferring amongst themselves, but the girl's eyes are downcast. The young man occasionally looks to you and the girl with a worried expression, maybe in his mech's training. Upon reflection, she does look unwell. You consider voicing your concern for her, though you can also let it lie. The girl Frederica slowly raises her eyes to you upon hearing your voice. I've remembered my name, she says, but that's all I remember. My mind feels foggy. The girl makes another pained face as another headache renders her silent once again.
What's the matter?
She's very pale. I think it would be best if you let her rest for a while. What I overheard sounded like peculiar. Did she not come here with you? You tell him that you met the girl here and that her memory is spotty, and she seems to know you somehow. Intrigued by this, the young man looks back and forth between the girl and the device in which she slept.
Oh?
She was inside this ruin, eh? Amnesia can be very serious. But if her confusion is temporary, there's still hope. Seeing places or things she knows might jog her memory.
Really?
Things I know? The girl mutters to herself while looking at you with a troubled expression before continuing. I don't know what kinds of things I know, but I feel like I know you, at least. Hey, could you tell me your name? You tell her your name and that you are a Highlander come to investigate the ruin. Kurtai. The girl mutters your name to herself a few times as if testing to see if it sparks any remembrances. No good, that doesn't do anything for me. The girl sadly mutters to herself and looks around the room, as if hoping to find something that she remembers. I feel like my mind's slowly starting to clear up. With that, the girl faces you again with determination in her eyes.
Do you want to come with me?
Hey Kurtai, you said you came to investigate too, right? Then do you want to come with me? Why not?
Thank you.
Thanks. The girl gives a small smile as she thanks you, seemingly relieved by your answer. Looks like the two of you have come to an agreement. The young man quickly looks between you and the girl before continuing. If you plan to keep on exploring this ruin, might we join you?
As I mentioned earlier, we came to investigate this same ruin. I believe we can be of use to each other.
Young members of the Midgard Library investigation team eagerly await your response. Yes. The young man in white coat smiles to hear your reply.
Good.
Good. Oh.
I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? My name is Simon. I act as the leader of this investigation team.
Then shall we proceed? Sensing your conversation is coming to a close, the blonde boy waves to you and raises his voice.
Hey, are you guys done yet? Let's go!
Well,
Just a moment, Arthur. We're going to be accompanying him now.
Huh?
Huh? How come?
It'll be good to have a Highlander along. It's not been easy with just the three of us. Well, hello there. I'm Raccoona. It's nice meeting you, Highlander.
The protector woman clad in silvery white armor smiles as she greets you.
Well, if Simon says, I guess it's okay. Hey, I'm Arthur. Thanks for helping. Sorry you got dragged into it.
The mischievous blonde boy grins as he says so. You nod, ready to continue your search with the amnesiac girl and the Midgard Library investigation team. Alright, so this is our 5-man party for the rest of the game.
Hey,
Hey Kurt, again, we started checking out by checking out that device. The girl is pointing to the mysterious device where she had slipped. She seems to be curious about it. You can follow her suggesting examine it or look elsewhere. Oh, new destination. Okay. Before that... At the very least, turn... Yeah, at the very least, try to turn the voices up. Because it feels like they're a little quiet. The immense device which the girl was immersed is no longer glowing or moving at all. As you approach to examine its shape and interior, the young man Simon mutters to himself. This technology is far beyond our own. The girl emerged from a device forged by an ancient civilization, now lost. How bizarre it all is. Yeah, plus, wouldn't it be uncomfortable to try to sleep standing up in this thing? Simon's perplexed musings and the boy's Arthur's irrelevant remarks wash over you as you, too, examine the device. Frederica stands next to you and looks at the device's side. Oh, Kurtai, look at this. The girl, having seemingly made a discovery, points to a section of the device. You see the words beneath the dust and moss on the side of the device that Frederica indicates. Hibernation test subject, Frederica.
what?
You can read that ancient script? Frederica nods at the armored woman's question and continues to pore over the writing. We pray for Ricky's future as she enters a long slumber for the sake of our project.
Me?
This is about me. The girl looks anxiously up at you, but the words she is reading are beyond your comprehension. She inspects the device thoroughly and searches for more information, but there seems to be none.
There's nothing more for us here.
There doesn't seem to be anything written here that would help us in our investigation. Just as you are tempted to agree, you hear a boy shout.
Hey, Simon?
Hey Simon, check this out. As you're investigating the device, Arthur had climbed on top of it and now calls out to you loudly. When you find the boy has fit himself perfectly into where Frederica had been sleeping. It's really soft in here. It feels great.
Hey.
You said you're an investigation team, huh? He's good in a fight, but that's about all he's good for. You wait for Arthur to clamber down from the device so you can continue searching for more clues. Okay, I was curious about that. Let's see, that just goes all the way to the door.
Oh?
It looks like it's probably going to be this thing. That just goes all the way to the door. Gotcha. Okay. So I need to make sure. How did my character just jump over this? Beyond the wall, which the monster you faced earlier destroyed, you discover a passage. Arthur seems to be beside himself with excitement at discovering a new path. I think this leads to the other side. We haven't been there yet, you right?
Yes.
Guess we owe that monster one, eh? There's no way we could have knocked down this wall ourselves.
Thought so.
Yeah, it's real solid. I don't think I've ever seen this kind of thing before. Where the heck did this rune come from?
Oh, you're just so...
That's what we came here to investigate, Arthur.
I know.
Isn't that enough?
If you're gonna fool around, can it wait till later?
Let's move on.
Let's keep going. If this area hasn't been checked yet, you'll need to do that, right? With that, Frederica slips through the crack in the wall, and you hurry to follow her in. Oh, okay. Much more than I was thinking. I was about to say, because these squares... I mean, it's probably different here than it is in the lab. Well, okay, maybe not technically. Okay, if you go by how many steps it takes for the time to go up, I forget, I think it's like 30 steps or something like that. Basically, it's like a case of, if you do a rough estimation of how fast like an average person would walk, each of these squares would be like maybe about 2 minutes each step, roughly. Something along those lines. It's pretty much how you can get a general idea of how big the labyrinth is supposed to be, considering how this is a, yeah, 30 by 30. Oh, wait, no, there's more than 30. This is 35.
Oh?
You were just talking about that.
Hmm?
Oh, okay. Another one. Oh, I see. Shortcut back to the start. Guess I totally missed that. Oh yeah, how are we doing on... Oh, okay, I recovered all my health. Oh, really? Okay, I recovered all my TP from that fight. That's weird. Whatever, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna learn Bloody Offense. Because that's a good attack buff. Because I believe at level 1 it's a 30% attack buff. It lasts for 3. Okay, oh, it's elemental too. That's good to know. To the line, right? Alright, I can't check from there. Oh god, they have skill points already too. That's right. Well, I'm not gonna be here much long. I don't think this place is much bigger. Yeah, I'll have to look into what to put their points into as well. Okay, let's see. Line. If I can swap party members as a free action, then that could work pretty well with putting... I mean, Frederico would also have to be one of those people too. I didn't think about that. Either swapping me to the back line, or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Oh god, boy, okay. I'll have to remember which of these skills are actually good and useful in this game. Yeah, I'll have to look through like skill simulator and stuff to see what's the good stuff. Oh, so that was the full party now? Okay, yeah, immunizes in this game. It works like it's supposed to now. It is elemental defense specifically. And I'm pretty sure it's not 60% at level 10. So it's in the game, it's just not not busted like it was in the original. Yeah, I don't remember what most of these character skills do. Oh right, he does have that, right. This is not as overpowered as it was in the original as well, but you know, whatever. He has 2 points, he has 4 points. I'll have to figure out which formulas are actually good for him to pump shit into. Wait, I think I vaguely remember. It's funny because that's I haven't actually talked about escape rates in this game. To put it simply, you're better off with just pretending that the run button does not exist, like if you're playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne on hard mode. Because I think the odds of running away increase as you fail, but it starts at such a low chance that you're better off not even bothering to try. That kind of thing. Yeah, I don't remember what his good thing is. I might be thinking of 2. Probably. Okay, you, on the other hand, I think I can potentially think of something. Charge shot. Okay, I know this is good. Shell shock, double strike. No, okay, that's just normal attacks, whatever. Okay, I know action boost is apparently stupid good. And you either do it with charge shot or ricochet or something like that. I don't remember. I just remember that this is extraordinarily good. To the point that Frederica can pretty much probably outdamage my entire party. That level is of good. And of course I didn't know that on my first playthrough. I only learned about that like after I played through the game. Well, again, I haven't finished the game, but I remember reading on various things. It's like I've heard plenty of things just about action boost. Same thing with, like, the Highlanders cross-charge and all that stuff. Scenery here never seems to change. The girl beside you avidly searches the area and hopes something will trigger her memories to return.
Oh.
Not sure if we'll find anything to help you remember, just stumbling around like this. Maybe not.
Well,
There's no call for such pessimism. Beyond the scenery, the very air and environment here could help you. It would be wonderful if they help you remember, that we might learn more about this ruin and the odd quakes. After Simon's attempt to console the girl, he turns toward you.
what is that?
Kurta, you told us that the Rada asked you to investigate this ruin, yes?
What do you think?
If you don't mind, could you tell us the hypothesis of your findings? We'll share what we know as well. Simon's light tone is contrasted by his grave expression in his eyes as he looks toward you expectantly. Reveal everything the Rada told you to Simon.
I see.
I see. So even here in Etria, they don't know any more than we do. Simon then begins to explain what his team has learned thus far.
All right.
Here's the long and short of things as we know them. Though I regret to say that even the Midgard Library, Midgard Library's famed investigation team has discovered very little. The young man digs through his pack and a stack of documents and rifles through them.
Now,
According to my notes, we first heard that the large-scale quakes had begun about 2 seasons ago. Around that time, mysterious sounds were heard in the forests above this ruin, which agitated the wildlife. The Midgard Library was informed of the matter, and we told that the quakes were growing more and more frequent. The library decided to compile a dossier on the ruin and dispatch an investigation team to the site.
Yes.
That's us three he's talking about.
yeah.
But even we know very little, though we did decipher the ruin's proper name. Let's see, according to these documents, it's called...
All right.
It's Gladsheim. Frederica's voice is as firm as she cuts short of Simon's explanation. The anxiety she showed when she was yearning for the clues is gone, and a powerful tenacity gleams in her eyes. You're unsure whether to ask her to elaborate or let the surprised young investigator resume his speech. That's true. The young man in the white coat nods with you with a troubled expression.
That's right.
Frederica has the right of it. This ruin is called Gladsheim. He then turns to Frederica with a suspicious look in his eye.
What is that?
How do you know that name? Could it be that your memories returned? No, it's just when I was listening to you guys talk, that word just popped into my head. You asked the girl if any other memories surfaced, but Frederica only shakes her head. No, that was it. I can almost remember something very important to me in Gladsheim. Who was that? There was a man calling me and... Seemingly taking with delirium, the girl suddenly cuts herself off and crouches, clutching her head. You can see the pain evident in her face. Perhaps you should lend her a hand in support.
Thanks.
Hey,
Simon, I understand that you're curious, but I'll let the poor girl be for now. She must be exhausted, having just woken up with almost no memories. We shouldn't be pushing her like this. She must know something. If her memory returns, it would be that much more better for our investigation. The young man seems disheartened, but seeing the girl's pain is enough to make him tread more lightly.
You're right.
You're right, of course. It won't do us any good to overtax her. Simon looks up at the ceiling, lost in thought. Take a short rest to check on Frederica's condition before resuming the investigation. Nectar. That was all that was on this side, it looks like. Yes? Yep.
Let the battle begin. Simplicity
been
itself.
Probably could have just auto-attack that. As you continue investigating the ruin, you reach a spot where you can see a passage beyond the broken wall. Okay. Looks like it's like... On the other side, yeah. As you look at the cracked wall, you can, the protector Raccoona stands beside you. We need to see what's on the other side of the ruins, but the way there seems to have collapsed. Indeed, it appears the passages did once exist, but the walls have crumbled and the corridor is no longer passable. There's no other way, and with the ground so weak, it was impossible to get add it above ground either.
No way!
No.
Wasting our time.
But we can't get over there. I need to hurry and find the terminal to check on the state of the Gladsheim. The girl speaks another unfamiliar phrase in her frustrated muttering. You can address her question to the girl peering behind the wall, or try asking the investigators. On hearing your question, the girl casts a suspicious look at you before retorting.
Why?
How do you not get this? It's a terminal. There are computers all over the Gladsheim Inn. The girl's tone seems heated, but she abruptly covers her mouth in shock at her own words. Terminal. Computers. What did I just...
Hey!
Maybe your memory's coming back. Those words just came to me when I was looking over there. There's a terminal further, and I have to hurry there. I know that much, but that's all. Seems bit by bit the girl is remembering some things, but the larger picture still eludes her.
Oh?
Terminal and computers. The remnants of an ancient civilization. I've seen examples at the library. If that's true, then there would be a terminal further on that side, correct? The girl nods at this, and Simon looks at you with a serious expression.
What is that?
In that case, what? I don't think we can let anything stop us from moving onward. A way must be found to get to the mystery of the abnormality and the key to this girl's memories. It is very well the young man to say so, but you can see no other path nor think of a way to proceed. Let's keep looking.
Huh?
We've already checked everywhere we can think of.
Well...
No, Kurtai is right. If we can't find it here, then we look elsewhere.
Why?
What's that mean? Do you have some idea how to get through? Simon smiles as if waiting Frederica's question before responding.
Yeah.
I do, in fact. In one of our documents, it says that to go deeper in the Gladsheim, the use of a transport device is necessary. Transport devices?
That's right.
Yes, it's technology from a bygone era. It transports objects to other places. That Yggdrasil labyrinth is said to contain a singularity which makes this transportation possible. The Yggdrasil labyrinth?
Yeah.
Something we found in the library documents. There's no evidence of it, but it's worth trying. We do need to get further in.
But...
One problem with that, though. The Rada's got the Force under strict watch. Who knows if they'll even let outsiders like us in there? Why wouldn't they? We've got a guy right here that the Rada trusts.
Right?
Right, Kurtai? You know it.
Thanks for the help.
It would be very helpful. I doubt we alone would be granted so much of an audience. We decided to take the girl and the investigation team back to the Rada. Okay, we are done here for now.
Careful, everyone.
It's a monster.
Vulture will fly.
That's right.
Butterflies.
Easy win.
Scholar scores. Tell Soldier that your inquiry is complete and that while you can go no further, the ruin leads deeper. That's so, then very well, but who are those people behind you? Soldier's unable to hide his surprise that you entered alone, yet emerged alongside 4 companions. Yes. You summarized the Soldier the events that transpired inside. The Midgard Library. I've heard much regarding their investigators, so they too are looking into Etrian's abnormality. Your findings in the Midgard Library's involvement must be reported. Let's return to Etrian. With that, the Soldier guides you and your new companions to the carriage to begin your journey back to town.
The sky's so beautiful. And the air's really clean, too.
Huh? Isn't it always like this?
Now,
Tell me, Frederica, does this area seem familiar to you?
Why?
yeah.
I hope that might help your memories return. The information in your skull would be very useful exploring the Gladsheim, so it'd be helpful if, well... Sorry if I'm not remembering to your expectations, but I don't recognize anything yet.
Let's go.
But we need to be getting to that Rada place, right? Let's quit messing around and go.
What brings you here to Rada Hall? You have a report to make, yes? We are grateful for your hard work. Well done, investigating the ruin.
May not be much, but here's your reward for compensation for your report and map.
Not bad at all.
Now then.
Though from what you've told us so far, it doesn't seem as though you have any clear answers yet. We'd like for you to continue your investigation to the abnormality. Now, if we have no objection to chaperoning the girl from the ruin during your explorations. As for the rest of your report, I'm surprised to hear that the Midgard Library investigation team was snooping around the ruin. I'm sorry to have surprised you, subaltern. But there's nothing out of the ordinary. The library investigates mysteries of all kinds, including ancient ruins. This was no different. The library heard rumors of the abnormality and were dispatched to investigate. And Kurtai's report says that you can help us solve this abnormality?
Huh.
Yes, that's why the library sent us, in fact. We're seekers and compilers of knowledge. And if our investigation results in a safer Etrian, why, all the better.
Indeed.
Yes, you have your own circumstances to consider, but if it dovetails with our efforts, we will welcome your aid. Though I would like to further explanation of the bit where you wish to gain access to the labyrinth as well. Reports claim that you think it's necessary to investigate the ruin. How certain are you of this?
I would swear it upon the Midgard Library's good name.
Learning more about this ruin will be impossible without entering the forest. You sound quite sure of yourself. Does the library have any theories on what the ruin might be, or the reason underlying the abnormality?
Well,
I couldn't speculate on that yet. That's why our team was sent in the first place to investigate. It's true that you have information the Rada lacks, which could be of use in this instance. Still, Kurtai, what do you think of them?
I see.
Well, who might doubt the Highlander's word on the subject? Invoice from the Midgard Library, I understand your circumstances. Kurtai, I request that you continue the investigation with this new ruin.
Now then.
Please accompany our guests from the library as you do so. The information they hold could be vital to us. I hesitate to allow them to act unsupervised. But I believe you can ably represent our interests in the matter and keep everything harmonious. Will you accept it, Kurtai? It really doesn't matter what you say in any of this type of stuff, so...
Thank you.
I thank you. Well then, invoice from the library. I grant you leave to venture into the forest, provided that you do so under Kurtai's command. We have no objections to that.
I see.
Well then, Kurtai, I hereby approve of the creation of a guild with you as its leader. You need only to fill out this line here with the guild name that you wish to register. Oh yeah, I gotta give a guild name. Right. I'll just give the general name. Because I can't really think of anything else to use right now.
Indeed.
You should deliver this letter to Shilika's goods. They'll sell you an item that you'll find quite invaluable.
You are free to leave.
Now then, head out and investigate the forest labyrinth.
Was there something else? How are you faring with the investigation?
It is good news that we of the Rada have a skilled Highlander such as yourself taking on the forest challenges. I implore you to explore the labyrinth in addition to the ruin.
Well then, I bid you good luck.
Well, we got the Rada's approval, so we can continue our investigation. I'm looking forward to working with you. Yeah, sure.
Yeah!
Alright. We're gonna be fighting side by side now. Might as well have a good start.
You're right.
He's got a point. I mean, we just met when we barely know each other right now.
Hey,
How about we go to the pub and get to... How about we go to the pub and get to know each other a little better? How about we do?
yes.
That's the spirit. Just looking for another excuse to go drinking. Well, the guild leader said it was okay. I don't know what you're complaining about. Come on, let's hurry up and go.
Hey there.
Hey there, kiddo. Ren told me that you finally finished your mission from the Rada Hall. Let me tell you what I do. Here at the Golden Deer, I hear all sorts of problems only adventurers can solve. Gathering materials, wiping out monsters, you name it, I hear someone sobbing about it. And when I do, I pass the request on to kids like you. You're welcome to take them all in. You know you're the talk of the town. Rumor has it Ren's taking a liking to you, so you take care now. We're talking about you, weren't they, Kurtai? Pretty famous around here, aren't you?
That should be enough.
Come on, you two, grab a seat. Hurry. Fine. Let's drink to the new guild, for Kurohana.
A toast.
Cheers. That's the stuff. Now, if we're going to be exploring together, we should introduce ourselves to each other. Kurtai, is there anything you want to ask? I guess I do all these.
Yeah!
Huh? It's a library, you know, books and stuff. It's an organization that seeks to collect and preserve knowledge throughout the world. Literature, geology, mathematics, astronomy, pharmacology, all kinds of academics as well as legends. We systematically study all these different fields and teach them to those who would seek to learn. You can call it an enormous school of sorts. Take Raccoon, for example. She came from somewhere else to learn.
Sure enough, eh?
No matter the situation, you keep priority on the mission. I expect that from a Highlander. Let's see, geomagnetic field within the electrical labyrinth is connected to the ruin, right?
Right.
Yes, it's from an ancient text that seems to be a reliable source. There's no mistake about it. Maybe we should be concerned about whether or not we'll be able to find the geomagnetic field. I'm sure if we just walk around the forest long enough, we'll find it eventually. Okay, yeah.
Me?
Me? Well, I was leader of our team of investigators, but only because I was the eldest among us.
Seriously?
Don't be modest, it's because you know the most about the ancient civilization.
Well,
No, you're appointed leader because you're a noble. I was only given the position after you declined.
Oh my.
Well, we're here to investigate, not for combat. You should have been chosen in the first place. You agree, don't you, Arthur? Yeah, even if we were a combat team, I think Simon would be a better boss. What do you want to know about my... What, you want to know about my formulas? I just go zoom, and it goes whoosh, and then bam, and the enemies are like, no, and I'm all like, haha. As always, I have no idea what you're saying. Not a clue.
Huh?
Huh? Hey, Kurta, you understand what I'm saying, right? No.
What?
Well, come on, that's such a clear explanation. You don't understand it, nobody knows what you're saying. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. Maybe bad at explaining things, but he's skilled in his own right. You don't have to worry there. Raccoona. What about me? Well, before I tell you anything, you and I are gonna have a drink. Sure.
We're on the same page.
Good. You can handle your stuff. I wouldn't go any further, Kurta. She can drink you under the table any day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a beast. I don't know where all that booze goes.
Seriously?
You got a problem or something? Food and drink are for eating. That's what the table etiquette is for.
What should we do?
Hey, Frederica, is there anything you want to ask us?
There's no more.
Not really.
Got it.
Oh, that's a shame. I would like to know more about you, but I suppose you can't say much about that, huh?
All right.
Well, I guess I'll just ask you some questions, Kurtai.
Well,
You're a Highlander, right? I've read about you guys in the books, but you're the first I met in person. What kind of people are Highlanders? Try the values just, I guess, was the thing.
you're right.
Noble tribe. I'm sure everyone in your clan is strong and proud. I don't know, I don't really trust those guys who claim to be all about being pure and stuff.
true.
I do have heard many rumors about the Highlanders. They have several codes that they live by, but the one they uphold most is to find true justice for all. Did you just say true justice for all?
What is it?
What's the matter, Frederica? I've heard that before. I feel like someone close to me has said it once.
Hey!
Did you remember something? I'm not sure. There's no need to rush. But I feel so helpless. Will this feeling go away once I get my memories back?
Yes.
Of course, that's why we need to explore further into the ruin and find that terminal thing.
I agree.
The terminal. Yes, you're right. If we can just find the terminal.
You're right.
Yes, but first we must explore the Eggers labyrinth to find the transport device. We may be able to find something pertaining to your past, as well as your relationship with the Highlanders. Hopefully we'll also be able to find some clues as to what's causing all these abnormalities in Etria.
Well then, let's go.
Just tell us that when you're prepared to leave Kurtai, we'll head to the Eggers labyrinth. Yeah, I got
Which one are you
quests.
interested in? Now, what'll it be?
Actually, I'm gonna take a
Come again,
break.
kiddos?
My throat hurts for talking so much.
Welcome to the Rooster Inn. Very well.
able to see
Then
them.
allow me to show you to your room. Sign in over here, please.